This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible.
Take a walk around the world and keep your hands to yourself. To the point, cause you know I won't be listening long. Pick a road, cause you know I like to travel.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to what might end up being the most chaotic version of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler that you have ever listened to. And that is the Bill Apter Seal of Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler, of course. My name is Tyler, and I am not only joined by Mike this week, but I am also joined by Max the dog, Lucy the cat, and Mia the cat, who are running around.
Juggernaut.
And the Juggernaut, Mia the fat Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut.
I do apologize in advance if this gets chaotic because my cats are going buck wild right now. My dog is going buck wild. I just got home from work and they are very excited. But I'm very excited to be here with the one and only Mojito Mike. Mike, how the hell are you, buddy?
How are you, you giant fucking cunt?
Whoa.
So, somebody told me I didn't swear enough on the show. So I figured, so I'm going to up the ante this week.
Yep. Just so everybody knows, that somebody is my mother, by the way. Mom, I'm very sorry for Mike's behavior this week. Holy moly.
I didn't think you were going to throw your mom under the bus in the first minute and a half. But
She's not happy with your cousin.
No, she's not happy that I'm a bad influence on her baby boy.
Sometimes I fucking swear. What do you want from me?
Yeah, that's it.
Listen, I know we're having fun and joking around here, and we had a great show lined up for you guys this week. We're going to talk the top 7 scariest, spookiest. How are you wording this?
Let's go with spookiest theme songs. It's
top 7 spookiest theme songs.
I mean, it's October. We're getting into Halloween month. I wanted to do something. Last year, I did horror themed wrestling matches. So this time, I'm kind of doing. I almost did horror themed gimmicks. But I might say that for next year. Who knows? Yeah. Instead of gimmicks, we're going theme songs. I always love our music episodes.
Yeah.
So
me too. They're so fun to edit.
we're doing the theme songs that fit scary or creepy wrestlers the best.
Fair. I'm excited for that. We are also going to get to part 2 of our open invitational draft that we are doing. After I drafted the better squad last week, I can plan to do the same thing this week, of course. But before we get to that, I just want to bring the tone down a little bit. I want to talk a little bit serious here. For anybody that is a fan of the Ontario independent wrestling scene, we had some really unfortunate news happen this weekend. Mike, do you want to kind of tell the people what's going on?
By the time this airs, it's going to be the 14th of October.
Yep.
So just a few days ago on the 9th of October, local wrestler here known as Scotty O'Shea. You might know him as Hacker. You might know him as the Anti-Hero. Might know him as SOS. But most people know him as Scotty O'Shea. He woke up, I guess, early in the morning on the 9th to a series of bad seizures, in which he was rushed to the hospital for, and they discovered a very bad brain bleed being caused by a horrible, very large tumor on, I believe, the left side of his brain. The good news of this is he had emergency surgery, and they removed the tumor, and the surgery was deemed a success. The bad news is as of this recording, as far as to our knowledge, he is still in a coma, and the doctors don't know what his brain activity is going to be like when he comes out. So I gotta find a better term. I hate being the prayers guy. I'm not a praying guy, but our sympathies, our thoughts, our love to the family of Curtis. It's a shoot name. I don't know what to say here, man. This is a tough one. This is, this is a really nice guy. I've only had the pleasure to briefly meet him once, but he's a great worker, a phenomenal worker. I believe, also have had the privilege to see him work a few times.
He was actually one of my first favorite independent wrestlers, and when I first got into the indie scene, and I don't remember what year it was now. I actually got to see him and Showtime Eric Young, or Sanity Eric Young, however you want to know him. They tore the house down in some dive bar in Orangeville one year. I saw them. I've seen him wrestle many times around Ontario, and he was always my favorite. He was my first guy that got me. Right.
I dare you to talk to anybody on the indie scene, anybody in the wrestling scene that knows Curtis, and dare to find one that'll say a bad word about him.
Absolutely. And I want to
in an industry where there's a lot of shit talk, I've never heard shit talk about Curtis.
And I want to kind of point everybody in a couple of directions here. I want to point people to the GoFundMe page that's been set up for him, which you can find on Facebook. We will post links on our website for that as well, www.countout7.com. I want to point you guys to friend of the show, Brendan Albright, Holden Albright. Brendan's his name.
Brendan Caulfield.
Yeah. He is auctioning off some of his ring-worn gear as well as one of his entrance masks.
Let me just take 1 second to show the level of beauty in this. The fact he's not just auctioning off some of his ring gear. He's auctioning off. He chose some of his most important ring gear, the stuff that meant the most to him, to try to get as much as he can to raise for Curtis's family. And auctioning off a mask is huge for Brendan. I know this personally because he told me off air he doesn't have many left.
Yeah,
he's down to I think the one now. So for him to be giving away one, or to be auctioning off one, that's huge news. But Brendan's not the only guy reaching out and doing stuff like this, man.
Yeah,
a guy we both wish we could call a friend of the show is doing something big too, isn't he?
Yeah, Josh Alexander is auctioning off his gear that he won the X Division title in. This gear's appeared on New Japan Strong, Impact Wrestling. It's probably his most famous gear.
It's his Team Canada singlet. Any big match you've seen Josh, and you've seen him in this singlet. So this is a piece of modern wrestling history as far as I'm concerned.
And I don't know this for sure, but I've heard rumblings that our friends at Barry Wrestling are planning to do something to kind of, I'm not going to use the word honor because he hasn't passed away, but to help out with in the December show. And it just goes to show the level of respect that he carries in the industry, because even if you look on Instagram, on our friend of the show, Jimmy Corderas' Instagram page, he dedicated one of his reffing rants and he was really emotional and talked very kindly.
He actually didn't, he flat out said, I'm not doing a reffing rant this week. And he just talked about Kurt for the whole time. It teared me up. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
It shows that Kurt touched pretty much everybody he's ever worked with, be it a guy in the ring, or in Jimmy's case, the referee. I've seen so many people just outpour from workers to fans their love for SOS. Yeah. And like you said, he's not gone. We can't talk about him like he's gone, because he's not. This is us just showing our love to him and his family and hoping to God that he bounces back. And whether or not he ever hits a ring again is not my fucking priority. I just want to know that he'll be there for his wife. I know he does have a very young child named Charlie, and that kid needs a daddy. So let's just hope he bounces back.
Let's hope for recovery, and we're going to officially dedicate this show to him as well. And probably let's do it for the rest of the month, because he's a great guy. I haven't got a chance to spend a lot of time with him compared to some other people in the scene, but
other than a handshake and a hi, I've never really had a conversation with the guy, but
I have so much respect for his in-ring stuff. And so let's go ahead. We're going to dedicate the rest of the month of October. All of our shows are going to be dedicated to a speedy recovery for one of the most inspirational guys on the Ontario scene.
100%.
Real quick, we'll try to shift and bring the show up a little bit. Before we get into our draft, I was at Barry Wrestling on the weekend.
Yeah,
they put on another fantastic show. Unfortunately, you couldn't make this one, so I dragged a friend of the show, Wilson, along. We had a great time.
Wilson trying to take my spot.
Just want to say a huge thank you to Barry Wrestling again for having us. They always not only do they put on a top-notch in-ring show, but I just really want to take a step back. It's just someone who's been lucky enough to be there, while the show was being set up the last couple of times. And, I'm nobody in this industry. I'm not even in this industry. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even a nobody in this industry. I'm not in this industry.
Yeah.
But they've been very welcoming to let us set up a booth. Wilson and I
They've all
helped
been
them.
super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Wilson and I helped them set up the ring, not the ring, but the guardrail and the chairs and everything this time. I just want to say what a class organization they are. How honored we are to be associated by him with a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks to Sean for making us feel so welcome. Sean
That's
is,
it,
he
it
runs
really
a great
starts at the
show.
top. Sean shows so much pride and passion and love into his product. But not only that, he shows so much respect to his guys. Right after the show, he didn't give a shit about saying, great show. He went on Facebook to talk about how great his locker room is, how much he loves the guys in his locker room. That is the sign of an amazing promoter in my book.
Absolutely.
And again, Sean's another one of those guys. I haven't heard a single guy say anything bad about Sean. I'll tell you one thing I saw on Facebook, and I thought this was so great, and I gave so much praise to Brendan for this because he didn't have to, but this just shows how much how well Barry is run. Somebody went on Holden Albright's Facebook page and said, "Hey man, just want to let you know that the show this week just wasn't the same without you." And Brendan, instead of saying, "Oh, thanks a lot, man," blah blah blah, Brendan flat out said, "That's bullshit. I guarantee Sean put on a great show because he always does."
And he did.
That shows me, number one, that something we already know, Brendan's just a classy goddamn guy. Second of all, it just shows the impact that Sean's put on his workers, and it's fantastic. I can only speak for the one show, but you've been to 2 shows now, and I think we can both say that the environment there, the atmosphere is a very positive one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna even take it a step farther. I can't believe that somebody that like Sean, who's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, which is disgusting, is able to be such a great guy. I didn't think I could look past the fact that he was a dirty Steelers fan, but Sean is fantastic. Oh, there's Max the dog doing a run-in. Just a big thanks to Sean. We got a chance to hang out with a guy that made his debut for Barry Wrestling this week, came to join us at the table. Van Landon was the super cool guy. Von Vertigo had his table set up beside us, so we were shooting shit with him a little bit. We saw our boy Travis. Him and Big Ben had a great match. Go find Big Ben Ortman's vlog, Max.
It's a great vlog. Love
and most of Travis and his matches on there. It was really, really good. All around top-notch show. Hopefully we'll be back again next month. And in the meantime, I think we got a draft to get to. Come here.
Let's do this, man.
I got Max the dog doing a run in here. I told you it would get chaotic here. He's ringing the bell. I know he doesn't need to go outside. He's done this 4 times to me now. So
let's start the draft. We always do. Let's go war game style.
Oh,
it is your honor once again, sir. Heads or tails?
All right, I am going heads this time. Tails let me down last week.
Ready?
Arn Anderson.
We are going tails.
Damn it.
All right. Starting round 2. I'm going to start off big, and I've got. I think I'm going to surprise everybody with this one, but I have plans here. This is. I'm playing the long game with this guy.
Okay.
I'm starting off with CM Punk.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that. There goes one of my picks. All right. Why are you taking CM Punk? Just to piss me off?
No, just so I can give them to you later for a bunch of shit that I want.
I don't know if you're going to get that or not. We'll see. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to.
Don't stick me with Punk.
Well,
I don't want him.
I didn't tell you to waste your first pick in the second round on him. I am gonna go with something that I don't think you're gonna see coming here, and I'm going to take what might be the biggest money draw in the company, and I'm taking Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I was surprised you didn't take him in first round.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first started talking about doing this draft, I don't think I would have thought you were doing that. But when you started the draft by drafting Roman Reigns, then it was almost a given that you were going to take Brock sooner than later.
Well, I've got Walter on my roster, and I feel like Brock is the next guy, is the right guy to make Walter my next Brock.
So what's Brock's role in this? what's Brock's role in your company? Knowing, I mean, Brock is not a full-time guy, nor would he be for you. You know, Brock's got the best out of him is 4 to 5 matches per year. And Brock probably only has less than 5 years left in him before he says, fuck all this. So what role is he playing in your company?
To make me money. People love to watch Brock.
So you're not using him any differently than Vince pretty much is.
Except I'm going to have him go, Max. Hey. Come on. I'm going to have him go over more. Absolutely. I'm going to have Brock win more matches. And I'm going to have him, when he does lose, it's going to mean something. I'm going to have him on Andre the Giant protection level. He's going to be my big draw.
Gotcha. All right, man. So my number 2 is going to be no surprise to anybody, especially you. I only drafted one woman last time. I'm going to use this round to really start molding my women's division, and I'm going to start by taking my number 2 pick to take Jordan Grace.
Okay.
Thick Mama Pump. This surprises nobody. Everybody knows that she's one of my top favorite female wrestlers and has been for several years. Not only has she been amazing for the last many years in Impact and on the indie scene and everywhere you see her, but if you look what she's doing to herself right now, the body transformation, the stuff she's doing with the weightlifting competitions, she's got, and the fact that she's only like 24 fucking years old, she's got a lot of career left, and she can only go up.
Fair. Yeah, that's a great pick. Absolutely. I've definitely had my eye on snagging her, just maybe to piss you off. But for my next pick, I'm going overseas, and I'm taking Okada.
All right.
I think, in my opinion, Okada's been the best in-ring worker in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I won't lie. I was planning on drafting him this round, so we're on the same page here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't need to say much more about that.
What do you need to say about Okada?
I have Kenny Omega on my roster. I will sell out an arena if I just put them in the main event.
100%. And look at some of the other guys that you've already drafted to see. And that's why I wanted Okada, because I've already drafted, Josh Alexander and Jonathan Gresham. So to see these guys in a ring with Okada would have just been money for me.
Oh, 100%. Right.
All right. So now that I got a big name out of the way, I got my women's division coming together. Time to start building my tag team division a bit. I've only got 2. What was it? 1 or 2 tag teams last week?
You took 2 last week, I believe. Oh, you took the Gorillas of Destiny.
That's all I got because you stole the Briscoes. That's right. So I only got the 1 so far. So I'm going to start filling up that area, and I'm going to start by taking the Usos.
Okay, good. That's a great pick. Absolutely, that's a great pick.
Now, I'm not going to lie and say that Jimmy Uso's personal problems don't scare the fuck out of me. But at the same time, as long as both are clean and sober and keeping their nose clean from the law, they can come in and do some tremendous damage. And I don't care what people say. I think they are a draw.
Yeah.
Me personally, though, I think I would push more towards their old Uso penitentiary gimmick.
I like that as well.
I really like that.
I mean, I've got Roman, so you've split up the bloodline.
I sure have.
I'm actually on a similar wavelength with you right now, because I'm also looking at my tag team division for my next pick. And for that, I'm going to the current AEW tag team champions. I'm going with Penta and Phoenix.
That was my number 4. That was my next pick.
I thought you were going to take them. I was like, "Oh, you bastard! Don't you dare take them."
I'm really building my tag team division here. My number 3 were the Usos. My number 4 was the Lucha Brothers. I wasn't sure which way to go, but I thought for sure that you'd be going after the Usos. So I picked.
You know what? First. They weren't even on my radar. In all honesty, okay. For me, I wanted Penta and Phoenix because not only do I get a top-notch tag team, but I get 2 world-class singles wrestlers out of them as well. That you could easily slide in.
I am not the biggest fan of Ray Phoenix. I'm not going to lie to you.
He's spectacular. Okay?
He is good. I'm just not the biggest fan. I don't see the it factor in him.
Fair.
Where I do see the fucking it factor is Pentagon. No matter what you want to call him, Pentagon Dark, Pentagon Narrow, Pentagon Junior, doesn't matter what you want to call him. this man, every company he's worked for, he's done something for. You know, you and I did a watch along to their match with LAX, their ladder match, which was fucking phenomenal.
Very good match.
Everything Penta did in Lucha Underground, I think Penta was the standout in Lucha Underground.
Absolutely,
a lot of people would say it was Ricochet, but I think it was Penta 100%.
Yeah. Well, now if you take a look at my roster on the tag team division, I've got Jurassic Express, I've got Moxley and Kingston, and I've got the Briscoe brothers, and now I've got Penta and Phoenix to throw in there as well, right?
You do. All right. I have another tag team, but they're not. I know you're not going after them, so I'm not going to bother bumping them up. So I'm just going to go to the next person on my list, and I'm going. Actually, you know what? I am going to go for a tag team, and I need to make sure that I get this name proper.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Yeah. I'm going to leave them. I know you're not going after them. I just don't want to make an ass of myself. I'll leave them to my next pick. Instead, I am going to grab Wyndham Rotunda, formerly known as Bray Wyatt.
Going off the free agent market. I like it. Good pick. Obviously, what can you say about him? He's
going to be money wherever he goes.
Yeah. I mean, great call.
And you can do whatever you want with him. You can do a variation of the Bray Wyatt gimmick. You can go completely off. You know what? The only thing that you have to do, let him do his fucking thing.
Yep.
That man is going to be better than any.
I'd agree with him too with his family.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's the only thing I wouldn't do. I wouldn't bring him in as that. No,
I'm just saying he's got it in his blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he's that good, and what else? Just like Okada, what can I say about him? He's gonna be money. He's gonna be money for me.
For me now, I got to go with my next round here, and I've got my men's division built up. I've got my tag team division built up, but I need to get my women's division built up, and I gotta take Deonna Purrazzo.
Wow. Okay, because I mentioned that last week, and then you were like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I can't tip my fucking hand to you. I just think, I've got Becky Lynch, who is a character as well as fantastic in the ring, but Becky is a personality. So I don't need to take another strong personality right now. I want a workhorse in the ring. And that's why I'm looking at Deonna. I just think she's been the highlight of Impact Wrestling, I think, for the last almost 2 years. And she's a classic individual. She's going to bring credibility to my women's division.
Yeah, I mean, I had her later on too, so obviously I agree with you. She's going to make money for any company she works for, and just like we were talking about before with Jordan, she's still very young. She still has a lot of career in front of her. There's a lot you can do with her. She's going to help your company in the long haul, which is great. Which is what I could probably, I think I could probably say for my number 5. I've shoved into my number 5 so I wouldn't fuck the name up, because this is a tag team that's changed their name recently. For my number 5, I am taking Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics.
Yeah, good call. Very good pick.
I think first of all, how many times have you and I talked the praise of Peyton Royce on this show as far as her in-ring ability, and Billie Kay is fucking, or what is she known as now? Jessica
McKay or something like that.
Jessica McKay. She is a character. She can get that team over on the mic, and Peyton can get that team over in the ring. And you need to split them up. You can split them up, and they're fantastic on their own. Yeah. They're going to be good. They're going to be good if I decide to do a tag team division in there. They're going to be good if I decide to say fuck it and throw them into the men's tag team division, or they're going to be great as singles in my women's division.
Fair.
It's a no-brainer here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I gotta go. What do I want to do here? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with somebody that's gonna make my in ring and my mid card to upper mid card a lot stronger. I'm going with Adam Cole, baby.
All right. Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have waited too long on him, but good for you.
Have to. He's the guy is the complete package of a professional wrestler. He's over as fuck. He can play a great heel. He can play a great face. He is exactly he's the prototype player of what you would want on your squad.
100%. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that at all. I'm a little jealous, but that's the game of a draft, baby.
That's right, buddy. All my fantasy football drafts are coming in handy here.
I'm gonna stick with my women's division and grab one more on this round. I think I might surprise a couple people on this one because just because of current stuff, like she's kind of not been in that big picture, but she should be, and she's going to be if she comes plays with me. And I'm talking Bailey.
Oh, good deep call there. Good call there.
Man. I still see Bailey as being one of the best in the world right now. And unfortunately, she just can't. There's no place for her right now. Is the problem?
Yeah.
It's not that she's not amazing.
Well, and she's hurt, right?
And she's hurt. But right now the stories are about Sasha and Bianca and Becky and Charlotte and Rhea. There's really not a place for her right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's not her. That's nobody's fault. But I would bring her in and just make her the fucking star. Yeah. You know what I mean? She would. As much as I grabbed Tessa first because I think Tessa's going to be really my workhorse, but Bailey's going to be my star. Absolutely.
No. Well, I'm actually going to follow suit with you and stick with the women's division as well. And I've got Adam Cole, baby. So I might as well take his significant other, Dr. Britt Baker, who I think has been one of the highlights of AEW. Her microphone skills and her in ring is fantastic. It's very good as well. But now I've got a wide variety in my women's division now. I've got Becky, who can get it done in the ring and on the mic. I've got Tiana, who is a maniac in the ring. And now I've got Britt Baker, who's a maniac on the mic and can also get it done. I told you we're having a Royal Rumble here. We got bells ringing, bowls flipping. Cats are happy. Cats are so excited that I just drafted Britt Baker. They had to go crazy there. Could you imagine Britt Baker and Becky Lynch in a ring together cutting a promo? Because if you tune on to my show, you could see that. And you would 100%. See that pretty much right away.
Well, I'm going one more for my women's division. I'm going to clean up my women's division here. I think, unless something weird happens, I think this is the last time I'm going to hit my women's division this round. But I'm hitting that free agency pile once again, and I'm going for AJ Lee.
Wow, recently returning back, AJ Lee. Okay,
it counts.
All right, I'm down with that. I love me some AJ Lee.
I love me some AJ too. I think I love me some AJ for a different reason than a lot of people do. A lot of people like her because of the stuff she was doing at the end of her career, the basically the female version of CM Punk, which good. I get it. I understand why people liked it. Fine, but the stuff she did before she was even involved with Punk is so underrated.
Yeah,
the stuff she did with Daniel Bryan, with Kane, and even before that, some of her general managery shit. She is so entertaining. She's so athletic. We have her. She's one of the people we have to thank for the resurgence of the women's division in the first place. AJ is just. I think she's as much money to a company. Maybe that's too much. She's not as much money as CM Punk, but in a women's division, she's as much money as CM Punk.
Yeah,
to any corporation.
Maybe we can have a cross-promoted show and do a mixed tag match with Cole and Baker against Punk and AJ.
I would love that.
What a fantastic treat that would be. I'm actually going back to the women's division one more time right now. And I think this is probably the steal of the draft so far, but I'm taking the queen, Charlotte Flair. I think without question, she is the best. She will go down in history as the greatest women's wrestler of all time, as far as I'm concerned. To get her at the later half of the second round, that is a steal. That's a bargain for me. You can easily build anything around Charlotte. On the microphone, she is top notch. She outclasses everybody in the ring. I don't think you ever see Charlotte have a bad match. You know, imagine Charlotte and Deonna Purrazzo getting 20 minutes. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go back to my tag team division. I apologize to you because there's not a lot you can throw into this because I know they're not a tag team you know a lot about. But being the massive GCW fan I'm going to talk about the current GCW tag team champions, the Second Gear Crew. Now, everybody knows the Second Gear Crew is actually a stable with like 6 guys.
You can have all of them. It's fine.
Our rule is no stables.
You can have them. I'll give them to you. I don't know who fucking any of them are, so go ahead, take them all.
Oh, that's not true. You know who Eddie Kingston is.
Who? He's already on my roster. Sorry.
I know. Oh, you just said I can have them all, though.
Sorry. Kingston
no, too bad. I get them all.
No, you don't get Eddie Kingston. He's already drafted.
You just said I get them all.
Well, I didn't know Eddie Kingston was in the stable.
I am taking Matthew Justice and Mance Warner. They are the future. We're going to see them outside of GCW soon enough. First, we're going to see them against the fucking Briscoes, which is phenomenal. But they're going to go on, and I guarantee we're going to see them somewhere like AEW or maybe even NXT one day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not NXT. They were already apparently booted out of NXT. But we will see them. They are huge. They're big. They are amazing. Most recently, we saw them in that big match about a month or so ago, where they teamed up with Nick Gage against another rival stable. So a lot of fun stuff. They're huge. They're huge face. They're characters in GCW. They know. I would say they're the third biggest pop in GCW. Okay. Behind only Nick Gage and Effie.
Okay, fair.
And Effie is actually part of their crew, or at least he used to be. So that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm actually going back to the tag team division as well. I feel like we've got similar blueprints this week. I'm going with a team that's kind of been lost in the shuffle a little bit on the AEW roster, and that's with FTR. You had to know I was going to take these guys, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
I love the throwback to it, but I have plans for them. Don't worry, I have plans for them. They're not worried. And I get Tully Blanchard with them, so
yeah.
So now
that's the only reason I'm jealous. I might try to work out a trade so I can get Tully, because I want him to manage his daughter in my company.
I'll tell you what, you tell me that he's the third greatest horseman of all time, we'll open negotiations up a little bit.
Guess he's never working for me. Good enough. All right, for my numbers 9 and 10, I'm going back to the wrestling pool. I've already have some really great wrestlers, but I really want to throw some work in my third round. I'll probably go back and fix up my tag and my that other division I talked about, my little death match division. I need some workers in there, so I might do that in my third round. But I need some guys that can really throw it around with guys like AJ and the Octopus and Finn Balor, and these two guys are going to do it. So my number 9, I'm going Will Ospreay.
Yeah, good pick. Very good pick. I like
it. There's nobody in my company that he won't be able to work with.
No, the guy's probably the most underrated wrestler on the planet right now, maybe next to Roderick Strong, who is the most underrated wrestler of all time, maybe. But
did we just find out you're number 9?
No. I can save Roddy. Roddy's he'll find a home with me, but just not at my number 9. Because my number 9, I am going. Oh, I'm kind of changing things on the fly a little bit right now. I'm going to veer away a little bit from this. I'm taking the guy that I don't know why, but everybody hates him right now, and they always say anybody but Cody. But I'm taking Cody Rhodes on my roster.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you are. And while he was not in contention for my first 2 rounds, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been in contention for my third.
I
Again,
originally had him for
Cody,
my third round, but
I
I
want to
got
have a discussion for this one day. Maybe not today, but one of these days, I'd like you and I to discuss the concept of go home heat. Who deserves it? When is it deserved? When, you know what I mean? Because right now, that's what Cody has. Cody definitely has go home heat. People want him gone, and I don't understand it. I really don't. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, and this time I don't.
well, I want that type of heat. I want that heat on my show.
Well, not from the guy who thinks he's the world's biggest babyface.
Well, he's not going to be babyface on my roster. Let me tell you that much. I'm going to take that go home heat, and I'm going to let Cody rip loose with it. Absolutely rip loose with it. I just think that Cody's got something special.
Which he does.
He's got this.
I know, and I'll never take that away from him.
He's got the John. He's not at a John Cena level, but he entices that type of John Cena reaction out of people. People love him. People hate him. They cheer him in the match.
Yeah, but not in the good way though.
He's like if John Cena and X-Pac had a baby. That's the heat he gets.
Yeah, and throw some Nia Jax in there.
Yeah, there you go.
You want to talk about deserved go home heat? That's all I'm going to say there.
Well, and I kind of have a little vision in my head though, because with Cody I get Arn, with FTR I have Tully, and I also have somebody with the last name Flair on my roster. So I'm going to make a roster. I'm going to make a little stable: Charlotte Flair, Cody, and FTR.
Well, sorry, I already got Wyndham.
You can have the Wyndham. That's fine. That's fine.
All right, man. I'm going to take her home with my number 10. Like I said, I wanted one more just pure wrestler. And I don't mean that in the pure way. He's not a pure wrestler. This guy's just, we talked about the youth movement last week. This guy's part of this youth movement. And I think this guy's like going to really help any company push through that youth market. I'm going Mr. Colby Carino.
Wow, you're really going off the grid, eh?
Colby's fantastic.
He is.
Colby, I'm going to say is going to be as good, if not better than his father one day.
Ooh,
and that's
big
fucking
words.
saying something, because you know how much respect and admiration I have for Steve Carino. He's going to be as good as his dad one day. And that's because his dad is there. His dad came out of retirement to work him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Fair. I think Colby has everything his dad had too. I think he could be that heat magnet that Steve was. So yeah, that's my second round, man.
All right. Well, I guess I'll bring her home with my last pick in the second round then. And I think I will pull a U here, and I will also be hitting the free agent market. And I'm going to put a bow on my women's division with the elite athlete Nova.
I knew you were going for Nova. Good for you.
I had to.
Yeah.
We talk about future, and I just see and I'm not just saying this because we've gotten to know her a little bit and we've worked with her, because we're not, as anyone who listens, you guys should know, we're not the blow smoke up your ass type of people. Nova has that it factor. You can't put your finger on it. You don't know what it is, but you see her and you're just like, fuck, man, like this girl has got superstar potential written all over her.
I hate it, man.
You put her in a mid-card feud with Charlotte Flair to let her learn from Charlotte. You know what I mean? You put her in the ring with Deonna to let her learn from Deonna. And in 4 or 5 years' time, you're looking at a girl that's going to be one of your main event players.
And I don't know if you're like me and you plan on doing maybe a little bit of intergender wrestling, but Nova has proven that she can play with the boys.
Absolutely. So that's our rosters. Mike will text me that off air. So we'll see if I have time to actually put them up like I did last week. We are recording this on a tight schedule this week, so it might just be a half-ass show that goes up this week, but we'll see. And again,
worst case scenario, you guys are going to hear this on Spotify or wherever you listen to it. You might have to wait a day or two for YouTube. That's all.
Yeah, or I'm going to half-ass it and not two pictures, because I'm very tired and I got a lot of stuff to do this week. So we'll see. But yeah, those are our lists. Hit us up on social media. Let us know what we think. As always, maybe we'll make some graphics or something so you guys can see our rosters. But got to tell you, we got two pretty solid squads going right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
two very different organizations, which I expected from the beginning.
Yeah, mine's the best one. Yours is close second. So respect it. All right, man. What?
Such a small dick.
Are you? I'm a grower, not a shower. Are you ready to?
I am ready to go to top 7. But before I do need to throw a bit of an apology to our listeners. I know last week I did say that this week we were doing the best Austin versus McMahon moments. That's one of those lists that I can't half-ass. I just wasn't ready this week for that. I still have some work to do on it. So we are taking a break from that. In 2 weeks from today, when it's my turn again, you'll be getting that list, I promise.
Absolutely. So what we are going to do here is Mike is going to give his list, and I am going to play a little snippet of the music for you off our good friends Spotify or YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what we do here. We're gonna do this on the fly because I don't have time to snip and edit this shit this week. So we're all gonna do this together, everybody. Since my dogs and my cats have already fucked up enough shit this week with bells ringing and bowls flipping, might as well just throw all caution to the wind, right?
Let's do it.
Absolutely. And if you want to hear a professionally produced podcast, then listen to what Anthony does on the Classic Match Classroom, because he actually knows how to do this shit. I'm just winging it. All right.
I don't know what you're gonna think of this list this week. I like it. These are all songs that I really enjoy. Only criteria.
We spoke off air, and I said that I think I know what my number one would be, and I think we might be on the same page this week. I'm interested to see though, because what I'm thinking is one of those things that might just be like, fuck, I forgot about that one.
It's not changing for me. Are you going to give me a prediction or hold on to it? Because it's not going to change. No matter what you say, this list is not changing.
No, I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay. I'm going to hold on to it. I don't think that our number ones are going to match. I just don't think.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, because the last thing I want to do is fuck your whole list up right now by giving you the best theme.
But this is also one of those like really hard lists where it was like, sometimes you have a bunch of honorable mentions that you always knew were going to be honorable mentions. Almost my entire honorable mention lists is songs that I wish were on the list.
Fair.
You know what I mean? The only criteria here is it had to be a spooky, scary kind of song to go with a spooky, scary kind of wrestler, but it had to fit the character.
All right.
You know what I mean? It has to make sense. It has to fit.
I'm ready. Hit me with your number 7.
My number 7, I think, is a bit of a deep cut, but I stand by it. We're going with the loose cannon Brian Pillman.
Oh, this is a great theme.
Right. Thank you.
Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Oh, well, you were doing, so we're literally doing this on the fly. If you would have told me that, I would have had it fired up.
No, I got this. You talk about the theme and I'm going to pull it up. This is his WWF theme?
Yes. Yeah. His 97 theme.
Yeah.
I would have had it queued up if I would have known that you wanted it right on the fly.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Didn't this fit Pillman to a T?
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. It was weird. It was disjointed. Everything Brian Pillman was.
You know what I really the only problem I have with this song is that it never got played enough. Because he would always come out with the Heart Foundation. And,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
You know what? I think that's why it's my number 7, because it's such a great theme that maybe it could have been higher, but it's my number 7 because of its lack of recognition.
Fair. All right. Well, you know what? This is the perfect place for this song. I'm glad I made your list. I don't think it could go any higher than that, just because it is, a little bit generic, but it's so creepy. It's so awesome. It suits the loose cannon perfectly. And, if you want to hear more about Brian Pillman, head up the archives, www.countdown7.com, because he was the focus of our list last week.
Exactly. My number 6 is kind of similar to Pillman's. Like, it doesn't sound the same, but it's got that same vibe to it. Mine is Psycho Sid's theme song from the 97-98 era.
This is great as well. Oh, this is great. He had a good WCW theme.
I guess I'm gonna have to.
I got it. I got it here.
Unfortunately, we couldn't hear the beginning of that, but
Oh, I was queued up wrong.
but that Psycho, yeah, it
This
fits
is
so well.
absolutely.
It was one of my favorite themes in the 90s. He played it off so well. That character that came out, and people forget that character really started in 92.
Yeah, I
You know
really
what I
like
mean?
this middle part here too. Like, I think
Yeah, me too. Me
I,
too.
I think everything about this theme was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great.
It,
This
it
is
just fit him very well.
absolutely, and he was doing the master and the rule of the world thing. He's throwing the fist bumps out. He looks terrifying.
He does. Yeah.
Sid is one of the most impressive looking wrestlers of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe not one of the most impressive wrestlers of all time,
No.
but one of the most impressive.
But I'll tell you what, he drew a
of all
lot
time.
more money than some of the most impressive wrestlers of all time.
100%, man. People can talk about the match all they want. They didn't enjoy it, but that nobody else deserved to be in that WrestleMania 13 spot with Undertaker other than him.
Nope.
You look at that roster right there. Sorry, it had to be Sid.
Yeah, I'm glad he main evented a couple WrestleManias.
Me too. And I recently rewatched, and I know you don't agree with me, but I recently rewatched the match with Hogan in 92. And I like that match.
I mean, it's not a shit match, but I'm not going back. Like, I'm not clamoring to watch it again. You know what I mean?
Okay. My number 5 is kind of current, not really. But it's the original Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt theme song.
I'm so glad that this is on here.
This is one of my favorite modern day theme songs, and it's got to be the original. It can't be the Fiend. I'm sorry, and I'm not shitting on the Fiend's theme song. The Code Orange or Code Orange is good. I like that theme, but this original with everything that went to it, with Wyatt walking down with the with the lantern, their stride, it fit the Wyatt family. It fit that cult atmosphere. It that southern laid back thing that Wyatt had going on. It fit. It was Bray Wyatt. This song is Bray Wyatt.
It's so funny that you put this song on your list, because I was cleaning my house yesterday, just randomly, and I just started singing the song, like humming it. Like, I haven't listened to this song in forever, and my girlfriend looked at me and goes, "Are you singing Bray Wyatt's theme song? Like, you're such a wrestling nerd." And I didn't even realize.
Come on, man! But I love this song. There are some really good themes that I think if you just gave to somebody without telling them it was a wrestling theme, they would dig. That's one of them.
I always link this song to his incredible WrestleMania 30 entrance.
Yeah.
I love that entrance. I'm
It's
glad this is on your list. I might have even had this in my top 3, to be honest. I just really love this theme that much.
I think you'll get it when you get down to my top 3. You'll understand why it had to be my number 5, but
fair.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish my entire honorable mention list could be on the list. So for it to be my number 5 says something. So with my number 4, there's a couple wrestlers on this list that have a lot of really good theme songs and like just variations of one theme song. And I didn't want to go too heavy because one guy could end up having like 3 songs just on this list, all variations of the same theme. I didn't want to do that. I decided to go with one theme per wrestler. So my number 4 is Kane.
Okay.
And I'm going with his second theme song,
all right,
which is obviously not his original theme song, but before he went face and used Slow Chemical. It's basically just a better produced version of his original theme song.
Fair. I'm not going to play it as I have in the prior songs, because apparently I've blown Mike's eardrums and I ruined my speakers doing that. So just YouTube it, you fuckers. Happened. Yeah, I'll try to edit something in, but I doubt
it. Worst case scenarios, we'll send YouTube links in the bio.
I told you guys, this is the most unorganized and disputed Royal Rumble countdown with Mike and Tyler of all time.
If you can picture that theme song in your head, it just encompasses everything the Big Red Monster was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can picture shit being on fucking fire.
Yeah.
And think of 1998, 1999 Kane. Just scary motherfucker.
Absolutely. This theme is like, it's very similar to his original theme, except the guitar is a lot more amplified.
A little heavy,
A little
It's
bit
just
more
better produced.
riffy, a little bit more what's that thing they do? The amp wham bar, the wham bar.
Yeah.
It feels very more whammy, you know what I mean?
I
What
have
made you
this
pick this one
feeling-
over Slow Chemical? Because I know that Slow Chemical made your favorite themes of all time during a time period.
I love Slow Chemical. I do. But we're doing scary theme songs. Slow Chemical really fit him as his face character. When you did the half mask and the tank tops with his nipples popping out, you know, that fit him. When I want to see that Kane that'll fucking throw Jim Ross on the floor and set his ass on fire, this is the theme song I think of.
Fair. All right. I'm in. I love Kane. I don't love Kane, but I love the Kane theme song. I think it's fantastic.
My number 3, I know you'll agree with me. Maybe you might not agree with my placement, but you're going to agree that it belongs in the top 3 at least. I'm going with the Brood / Gangrel.
Yeah, I would have. Man, see, between the Brood, what I think one of your number 1 and 2 is, what I think my number 1 should be, and the Wyatt family one. That's a hard top 4.
So this isn't the one that you thought was going to be number 1.
This is not the one I thought was going to be number 1.
All right.
No,
I thought I had a feeling, because I know you love the song as much as I do. I thought I was going to catch some heat. And I thought maybe you wanted this as the number 1.
No, I would have had this in my number 3 or 4 spot as well. I would have flip-flopped back and forth with this one and with the Wyatt family and my 3-4 spots.
I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect at number 3. It's just such a cool theme song. It's scary, but it's cool at the same time. And it was a cool entrance. You know, especially with the 3 of them. Don't get me wrong, I love Gangrel, but you know, to see the Brood together come out from the stage engulfed in flames.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Edge do it at SummerSlam this year for all the younger fans listening that never got to see the Brood.
And he would have Gangrel he would have that chalice full of blood. Everything. It was such a cool gimmick. It was such a cool just imagery. Everything about that Brood was really, really, really cool. I don't think it lasted nearly long enough.
Yeah, I think they pulled the rug out a little early on it as well.
But at the same time, everybody knew they were going to put the Rock on Edge. Well, what were you going to do? Hold him in there too long? Like I don't know if it was
I guess you can agree. Like I would like to see them stay together longer, but if you look at how history produced everything, they broke them up at the right time. And we get to see Gangrel on Dark Side of the Ring this week with the Luna episode that airs tonight as we're releasing this.
Oh, that's right. Moving on to my number 2.
Okay, I want to know if our 1 and 2s are in sync here, or I want to know if you just forgot about the best scary theme of all time.
Maybe I did. This guy has had so many different variations of this theme song. I had to pick one. I'm going with Graveyard Symphony, which is The Undertaker's most famous theme song.
Okay. Undertaker was also my number 2.
Was it this theme?
I would have gone back and forth from not original, but like the 90.
There was Graveyard Dirge, which was or Funeral Dirge, sorry, that was almost on my list.
I like the one he did in 98.
Ministry Taker.
I like the electric guitar one.
It's called Darkness. It's right before. It's basically the Ministry theme, but better.
Yeah.
I agree. I love that theme so much. It was almost, but I had to go classic Undertaker. And this Graveyard song is the one that he used the majority of his.
It's the right one to put on your list, especially in this spot.
And
absolutely.
It's the one that every time I've been lucky enough to see him live, that's the one that played. And I got to see this one. Oh, goosebumps! If you've never seen The Undertaker live before, then you don't understand the goosebumps you get when he enters a ring.
You really do.
When they say, whenever you hear Gorilla or Roddy or the King talk about it gets cold in the arena, somehow they're not bullshitting, because you get chills, you get goosebumps when the Undertaker's music hits and the fog rises and he comes out. That music just does it to me every time, and it's nostalgic to me.
I've gotten to see his entrance done twice. The first time I saw it was at SummerSlam when he fought JBL, and it was cool because they brought the Druids out with the fire. So that was really cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
But out of all the wrestling shows I've ever been to, this is one of the top moments for me ever of any live wrestling event. I went to a Raw in Toronto, and it was the one where Bret Hart won the U.S. title from The Miz. And they did this thing where it was Randy Orton and Edge were feuding, and they were doing a pick your poison match, right? So the opening segment on Raw had Bret Hart, Chris Jericho, The Miz. Like, I was loving it, right? All my guys I love, Bret's there, Jericho, whatever, right?
Yeah.
The first match, Edge came out, and Randy Orton was going to pick his opponent. Well, Christian came out, so you got to see Edge versus Christian. It was awesome, great match. It had about 13 minutes, tore the house down. And then the match is over, Edge wins, and Randy Orton shows up on the Titantron and goes clapping, great job, man. He goes, but I don't know what the hell Christian was doing out there. I guess he just wanted to fight you. He goes, because I didn't pick Christian to be my opponent. This is who I picked to be your opponent. And all you hear is gong, unadvertised Undertaker. I'm telling you, I don't think I've marked out harder at a wrestling show in my entire, like, I was just like, and immediately the goosebumps hit and Taker walked out. All he did was walk out and hit a choke slam. And I do think that, call me crazy here. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. I think that there's still a place for the Undertaker in professional wrestling today, not as an in-ring performer, I think he should just be the gatekeeper of the WWE. So,
as a fan, as a lover of the character and everything, I want to agree with you, but I just don't know if I can.
Here's what I think they should do. I think the Undertaker should always be the gatekeeper. So you never know if he's going to be there or not. But let's just say, like, I'm going to use the Hurt Business as an example. They're a big faction, right? Bobby Lashley beats up Bill Goldberg's son. That's bad. The next night, let's just say they've got Goldberg down, 4-on-1 beatdown. Gong. It just comes out. He doesn't have to fight. Maybe throw a choke slam to somebody, and that's it. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's the conscience of the WWE. I think that is the role that you could still, because all anybody wants to see is the entrance and a choke slam now. We don't want to watch him fight anymore. We've seen it. We love Undertaker. We respect Undertaker. We don't want to see him in the ring anymore. We just want to see that entrance. We just want to see the choke slam. I agree with you. Right? But that's such a great, because he's always been, everyone knows he's the locker room leader as a shoot, right? How cool would it just to be like, you always have to keep in the back of your mind when the heels are doing something bad, the Undertaker might be there to straighten things out. Or if a face is doing something bad, he's the Undertaker, right? I just think that's such a cool role.
I'm not down on that at all. The first time I saw Undertaker live was that house show I always talk about in 1998 at Skydome. And he, man, it was something really special to be in that environment. But that was also 98. Back then, the production they put into a house show was the same production they put into a Raw.
Yeah, there's pyro and everything in those days.
Pyro and everything. So I got to sit there while Kane's flames hit up. And that was the first time I saw Kane's flames. I was nosebleeds in the Skydome. So that was
feel it.
Okay. You feel it. However, the second time I saw his flames was in 2006. And I was ramp side on Raw. I thought I lost eyebrows.
Yeah, it's hot, man. That pyro is hot and loud.
There's two things I took from that particular Raw and SmackDown taping: the heat from Kane and the volume from Batista's entrance.
Oh, it's so good.
So loud.
Yeah,
so
Edges is similar as well.
Oh, so loud. Anyways, Undertaker is my number 2.
I think we have the same number 1.
I hope so, because I haven't mentioned the person yet, which means you're wrong if we're not together on this.
I think I'm going to say the same thing here too.
If I'm going to start off by saying, does 1996 mean anything to you?
I was thinking more 97, but okay.
Okay, then I guess we have the different guys.
I think you're just on the wrong year. I think it's the same thing. You're just on the wrong year.
No, I'm going with the original theme song for Mankind.
Oh, we are definitely way off.
how could you not be talking about Mankind's theme song?
It's a great theme song. It would be on my list.
It is the best.
You didn't even put what I think number one should be on your list.
And you weren't, and obviously you weren't going to put Mankind because you weren't even questioning.
Well, I mean, if I would,
but you knew that if you were thinking it wasn't my number one, you weren't even questioning why it wasn't 2 through 7. So you blew off Mankind completely.
I didn't give him the same respect that you gave. He would be on my list. I think he would be on my list for sure. I'm trying to go through your list in my head right now. I would have bumped Pillman for Evil Doink. Would have been my number 7.
Okay. Evil Doink's on my honorable mentions. I wanted him in my spot, but I needed Pillman. I love Pillman.
I think I would have been tossed up between Mankind and Kane's theme, in all honesty, for which one would take the bump.
Let's talk about Mankind for a minute, and then we can talk about what you thought was going to be my number one.
What should have been number one?
You're wrong. You're just wrong. Right. I will argue with you about where your thing maybe should have went. It sounds like it's not even on my honorable mentions because you said 97 and there's nothing from 97 on my honorable mentions. So
when I say it, I don't think I'll change your mind on being your number one, but I think it's going to be I think it'll be a fuck. I should have put this on my list theme song.
Mankind is one of the scariest characters in the history of professional wrestling. And I know where you're going. But okay, we'll talk about it in the honorable mentions. Maybe I'm wrong. Mankind is one of those. They got lightning in a bottle with Mankind, and it's one of those rare things that they got everything right.
Yeah, absolutely.
They took Cactus Jack, and how easy would it have been for Vince McMahon to be like, okay, Cactus Jack, go, but he didn't. He said, no, we're going to make you a character. It's 1996, and we do characters here in the World Wrestling Federation. We don't want Cactus Jack. That's not what we do here. So he puts him in a fucking mask. He puts him in dirty, fucking ratty clothes. He shoves him in the boiler room with a bunch of rats and shit. It makes this character so deformed and so ugly that you forget that he's Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
It took me weeks to realize who I was looking at.
I didn't know for a long time.
He had come out and I had, I was at the age where I had watched WCW for quite a bit.
I didn't know he was Cactus Jack for a long time because I was young, right?
It took me mid-97 to figure out that he was Cactus Jack. So that's how well they did this.
Do you want to know when I learned he was Cactus Jack? Believe it or not, is when they did the Jim Ross interviews.
Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't know.
So around the same time, because I was about 97.
Yeah,
so
that was mid 97 actually.
Yeah, so that makes sense. It's probably around the same time for me too. And that's how good they did with this character. And the music was a big part of it. And while I am specifically talking about the entrance music, the exit music,
I love that they did that.
Such a unique thing to Mankind. Nobody had that. So Mankind had this ominous, scary theme when he comes to the ring, as he's gonna fuck you up. But then he has this peaceful ballad when he's leaving.
Yeah, and it really added a layer to the character, I thought.
Because he just fucked you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where Mankind gets his peace. And now he gets to walk away happy. It's everything about that character.
The peace from the destruction that he just laid out.
Don't get me wrong. Everything they did from 98 on with that his face turn music, it was good. It was great. Mankind was never not good. Mankind was never not.
Well, no, he was not good for a little while towards the end of 99. He was not good in the end of 99.
But that initial character, long before when he was still in the brown shirt and the brown tights, long before the dirty fucking button-up shirt, that's the Mankind that I fell in love with. That's one of the, in my book, one of the greatest heel characters in the history of the WWE.
I liked how they used to refer to him as the Hannibal Lecter of the WWE. I thought that was really nice. If you were talking about, and I guess your criteria was complete packages as well. So I can't argue this as your number one, but I think you missed a big one.
All right, go for it, man.
Crow Sting.
Wrong.
Crow Sting.
Okay.
That should be on your list at least.
No, not even an honorable mention.
You're crazy.
I fucking hate that theme. Always
That
have. Always
theme
will.
is fucking amazing.
Always have.
The organs, the
Yeah,
organ.
sure.
You want to talk
Hey, man.
about? Hey, you want to talk about setting a
Right.
picture, man? Especially, let's take you back to Starrcade '97 when that theme debuted, and he walked out. The drum bass to it, the organ. That theme needs to be on your list at least.
Sorry,
Huh?
not for me.
I mean,
Not
I
on
guess
my top 7. Yeah.
I would put that over Pillman's. I would put that over Sid's. I would put that over Kane's.
The best I could give you is an honorable mention.
Man, you're killing me.
I got some honorable mentions that I like better than that theme song.
What do you got? Evil Doink has to be on there. I would have put Evil Doink on my list.
Oh, Evil Doink is my first honorable mention because I was fighting. Remember, I told you on the phone I was fighting between three.
Yeah,
theme
what
songs.
was it? Evil Doink, Pillman, and what?
So Jake Roberts.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
went with Evil Doink at all of them.
Okay. Another one being Papa Shango came
Mhm.
close. I really wanted in my list, just couldn't make it.
Yeah, whatever.
Kamala had very interesting
Kamala's
music.
was just a fun theme though. I don't class. When I hear Kamala's theme, I don't think holy fuck I'm scared. Like I'm thinking like I want to
Okay.
fucking like party. Like I want to dance around a fire and party.
This is a really more current one, but I just think it's so good, and I wish we could have talked about it on the list, but just wasn't going to make it. The Bludgeon Brothers.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not familiar, go and
Uh,
Google it later. It's so.
I
fucking
don't
good.
remember it off the top of my head. I like
Um,
I liked Luke Harper and Eric Rowan's individual themes though. Rowan's was
Okay,
creepy.
yeah.
Go on and listen to Rowan's theme. It was creepy.
It has to be mentioned. You don't like it, that's fine. I will mention the Boogeyman.
Yeah, I just didn't like the Boogeyman. His theme was fine. Like, yeah, I get it. How about
And I
Bam
have
Bam
to-
Bigelow?
Have to mention the Ministry Taker.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because. Bam Bam Bigelow. I don't know if I count it as scary, but
Man,
I
you
guess
see this
that-
big fire guy coming out, and it's just like bam, boom, bam, bam. That's intimidating.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
I just had one and I lost it, which is going to piss me off. Who are you talking about? Doink. We talked about. I don't know. I lost one. I had one and I totally forgot it.
When we were talking about the Bludgeon Brothers or Kamala?
Nah, I don't know. It's gone.
Okay.
Gone forever. Gone forever. Sting. No.
You know, somebody when I was trying to make this list, somebody mentioned to me the Vampiro's music. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't remember anything about that. I could go look. Here's what makes me sick to my stomach. What year did Vampiro join WCW? Like 99?
Beginning of 99, late 98, maybe.
Yeah. Do you know he had 7 theme songs in WCW?
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't
And they all
surprise me
sucked.
at all.
And they all sucked.
You know who had a really scary theme song in WCW?
Abdullah?
No, Vince Russo, because that means he was coming on the TV. It scared the shit out of me every time.
Very true.
I was trying to figure out who I wanted to use that joke with, and Russo came in my head. Yeah, you know, I can't argue with your Mankind one as your number one. I can't argue it. It's a great number one, and
Listen,
and it
I-
registers with me because I was doing some research for Classic Match Classroom last night, and we're getting ready for our Halloween episode coming up soon, and we're doing the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell, and the build up to get there starts with Mankind and the Undertaker. So I saw the theme song.
I could allow you to argue with me. I could allow you to convince me that Sting belonged on the list somewhere, but to say that it's quote unquote scarier than Mankind, Undertaker.
Yeah, I'll give you Mankind as your number one.
Even Psycho Sid.
I'll give you Mankind as your one.
At the very best, we're getting number 6 or 7 for Sting.
You know, after hearing your list, I would put it at my number 5. I think that's where I would go. I would go I'll agree with you. I think Mankind was the right choice as number 1. I think Taker is your right choice as number 2. I think I would have went flip a coin between Wyatt Family and Brood.
Yeah.
3 or 4, flip a coin.
Yeah, sure.
I probably would have put Sting at my number 5. I probably would have done Sid as my number 6, and I probably would have done Evil Doink as my number 7.
Wow, so Kane doesn't even make.
I wouldn't have put Kane on the list. I like the other themes better. I mean, flip a coin between Kane and Evil Doink, I guess.
Yeah.
I just that
And
evil
that,
doink
and
character.
that was me between Pillman and Evil Doink. So
Yeah, I that evil doink character to me, and I have a soft spot for evil doink.
maybe if I would have done this list
Like
a
it's
few weeks
children
ago,
crying, and
if I would have done this list a few weeks ago, or if I would have done this a few weeks from now, maybe Doink probably would have made the list. But I think because we just finished talking about Brian Pillman, you know what I mean? Like
it's in your head.
he's still in my head, and I'm Not only were we just talking about him here on the show, I just rewatched his Dark Side episode. I went and watched some Brian Pillman matches I haven't seen in a while. So I've been.
Did you watch the match against Jushin Liger?
No, because I've seen that several times.
All right, because I know you questioned me on my number one about it, so I want to know if you rewatched it.
Yeah, maybe I should. But anyways, that's my list. We've done the draft.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna switch things up a little bit because originally next week I was gonna do a Magnum TA list, but I could use a little bit more time to prep for it. So in honor of your number one with Mankind, I am going to follow suit with you again, much like I did with the draft today. I just want to be like Mike. Hey, see what I did there? Oh, I'm so cool. That's for Michael Jordan, for anybody that doesn't know that. I want to be like Mike, or I want to be like Mike Walsh. I don't know. In a couple weeks, you're going to do the best Austin versus McMahon feud moments.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to take a look at a feud that I really love. And I'm going to take a look at the top 7 Undertaker versus Mankind moments.
I'm so jealous that you thought to do this before I did. It's definitely been in the back burner for me, because this is also one of my favorite feuds of all time. It's so fucking good. Are you going there? Are you spanning their career? Are you going to stick right with the initial feud? What are you doing, do you think?
Anything that the Undertaker and Mankind did together. Okay. It has to be from the night after WrestleMania 12 up until whenever the last thing. I'll do a little deeper research, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to do anything that they did together. Anything from Hell in a Cell to Buried Alive to Resurrections to, whatever they did. Boiler Rooms. And if they did it together, it's going to be on my list.
That's definitely going to be one of those lists where I'm not going to be able to argue with anything you talk about.
Yeah, and even
other than probably the order.
Yeah, and you know what? You could do a 7-way tie for number one on this list.
Yeah,
because their feud was that awesome.
Because it is such a good feud.
And it's probably going to be a majority of matches.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably the second most entertaining feud of our generation, at least, behind Austin McMahon.
Yeah, and
it was one of the reasons I turned on Raw every week.
To kind of do a little cheap plug for the Classic Match Classroom that I do with our friend of the show, Mr. Anthony. We are going to take a look at the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels Hell in a Cell match, and that starts with the Undertaker getting burned by Mankind at the beginning of '97. So we're going to go through all that part of their rivalry. We're going to go right through to Hell in a Cell, and then the very next week, we're going to take a look at Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels on the anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob. So
you're doing 2 Shawns in a row.
We're doing 2 Shawns in a row. Normally, we'd stay away from stuff like that, but it kind of makes sense because we wanted to do something for Halloween. So we're going with Kane, the debut of Kane. I think it's very fitting for Halloween. And that Hell in a Cell match is so fucking good. Like, classic match. Like, hello, right?
You know who else loved to hit Shawn twice? Sonny.
Oh, I was going to say that. I was going to say Marty, maybe. But
maybe Marty.
Who knows with Marty? He's crazy. But yeah, and then it just goes hand in hand because that was the number one contender match that led to Montreal. And we're going to do it on the anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob. So fun stuff going on over there.
All right, little boogie. Let's take this thing home.
Okay, Marty.
All right, man. That was fun. I think that's all in the bag. Next week, we're going to do Undertaker Mankind list. We're going to start wrapping up the draft, at least the wrestlers portion. And then...
you know how every week, like you say, like on behalf of this and on behalf of that, and then you count us out? Can I do the on behalf this week?
Yeah, because we're on the same page. I know exactly what you're going to say.
On behalf of the most chaotic episode of Counted Out of all time, on behalf of the annoying Max, Lucy, and Mia, who wrecked our entire show tonight on behalf of the technical difficulties that I will be providing for us this week, and most importantly, on behalf of the hacker.
In honor of Scotty O'Shea, of course.
Hit us with it, Mike.
We have been counted out.
Cheers.